It's time for dinner.
Back in my day, people talked face to face.
Ass to ass.
Ass to ass. All right, Joe, do the intro.
All right. Hello, my bass boosted brethren. Welcome to another episode of Trash Taste.
Oh, that was
so
sad.
What
that
the
was
fuck?
an old school Joey intro.
I know.
You actually.
I'm bringing back the alliteration.
But you sound-
For one episode.
Even though that was not alliterated at all.
You sounded so depressed, though.
Huh?
You sounded so depressed when you did
Okay,
that.
mood on. Let's do this again. Mood on. Bass boost me when I say this. Welcome back, my bass boosted brethren, brothers. Welcome back to another episode of Trash Taste Podcast. I am bass boosted boy number 1 with bass boosted boy number 2 and 3.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My
Connor's-
permanent life is based.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I was going to say. That's just like your voice, isn't it?
It never got turned off. It just got left on.
Put up the treble on Connor, like really high. How you boys been?
Been
We're
good.
all tired
Been
as fuck.
good. Oh my.
What?
How you doing?
What, am I not allowed to ask how your day's been?
I just
How
kind of
you
wish you'd
guys?
ask me with a little more enthusiasm.
How you guys doing? How's your week
How
been?
have you been, Connor?
How have you been?
How you been? I'll be your therapist for this week.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate
How are you
it.
feeling?
I feel like you need a therapist, Joey, because I feel like you've almost been cancelled again on Twitter for saying more hot
Is this
takes.
going to be the weekly thing where we just like review like possible
Cancellation of the week.
Yeah.
Cancellation of the week.
And today, on the chopping block today,
I just found it funny that after all this time, you actually go out your way to watch anime again, and then
the one time I tweet about anime.
Joey
and I almost get canceled.
Joey has the first anime take in like 6 months, and then
What was the take? Remind me.
Okay. So it's, let me bring you up to speed, right? Because this is a multi-layered take.
okay.
This is like a multi-layered meme.
Multiple angles to cancel.
Okay, so it started off. The layer first starts at the Kaisen episode, right? That which is of us recording it just went up, right? And
Yeah.
you know, thankfully a lot of people loved it. It was a great episode, right?
Yeah.
But on one segment of that show, and there's a highlight clip of it, is where we talk about the Jujutsu Kaisen anime.
Yeah.
I think it's because we were talking to Kaisen about like what anime she's watched recently or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Right.
weeks ago for us. And so I was like, you know, after me finally having seen it, you know, a while back, I was like, I'll you know, I think this might be a perfect time right now, since we're already talking about the anime, to, you know, kind of go into it a little bit, talk about it, right? Give our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Our hot takes, if you will.
Yeah.
And my hot take of Jujutsu Kaisen was me saying, I thought it was okay. and then followed by, I just preferred Demon Slayer
Yeah.
as a show, right? And there's a fucking highlight clip.
I mean,
of
you
this, so
are a
go check
clown
it
for
out.
that opinion. I gotta admit. Maybe I don't know. New season though is kind of tough.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah,
The
yes.
new okay, at the time of recording, that was clown take, but now
Yeah.
okay, maybe not. Maybe
I
not.
mean, it was a clown take though, because it's literally, because in the clip, I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of, Jujutsu Kaisen had everything that, you know, I thought I was going to like, but for some reason, whatever it was, I can't even give like a proper viable, like, you know, reason for it.
Yeah.
To just say that for some reason it just didn't really click in my head.
Yeah.
Never did I say that the show was like mid or that the show was bad in any way. I just said I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Twitter went ballistic over that. And there were like a couple of videos.
How ballistic are we talking?
I
Like,
mean, I'm
just a few
talking.
angry people, or like
I mean, you know, Twitter does
No, I
what Twitter
understand,
does
yeah.
best, right?
Yeah.
Gets fucking, you know, just overblows everything out of proportion. But like, I even had a couple of people tweeting at me like videos from like small anitubers being like, "Joe, you're getting cancelled," and I'm like, "Oh God, what now?" Is it for something I liked on Twitter? I don't know. And I went to look at it and it was like Joey's hottest take on Jujutsu Kaisen, and on the thumbnail it just says he thought it was okay, and I was like, oh my God, I can't even call a show okay anymore without being cancelled. Like, what the fuck is this? And then, so that's layer 1.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Layer 2 is when I started watching Demon Slayer Season 2 recently,
Yeah.
right? And I made a tweet, you know, first tweet in 6 months about anime, where I said something along the lines of, started watching Season 2 of Demon Slayer. Happy to say, Zenitsu is still the worst character in the show. All the Zenitsu fans went ballistic, you know, as they do.
Of course they do.
As they do, you know, calling him best boy and whatever.
they stand up wearing those diapers.
Yeah,
loud and
exactly.
proud.
Yeah.
Just pooping violently with rage.
Okay.
How dare you? But then some people took it back to that, you know, recent fucking clip of me talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, saying that Demon Slayer is better than Jujutsu Kaisen, and they had the audacity to be like, "Oh, now he's backpedaling. Now he's backpedaling. now he said he hyped up Demon Slayer so much, even comparing it to Jujutsu Kaisen, saying it was better than Jujutsu Kaisen, and now he's saying that it's Demon Slayer's not a good show. Which I never said, mind you. I just said Zenitsu fucking sucks because he does.
Yeah, he
right?
does. He does.
And it's like,
does.
if anything, I'm fucking enjoying season 2 right now. Season 2's been great. I feel season 2's like kind of brought back the hype for Demon Slayer for a lot of people, right?
I wasn't that hype, but season 2 is maybe definitely hype.
Like the movie, you know, oh god, is this going to be another fucking hot take? As okay as I thought the movie was.
No, okay, I'll agree with you. I thought the season 2 has blown the movie out of the water.
Do you know what? I'm going to say, because like I recently just finished my anime of the year video, and I feel like anime has gotten so much better now that just saying something is okay is now detrimental to the anime. Right? It's not even bad anymore.
Yeah.
Like calling something mid is an insult, and calling something okay is an insult.
I feel like it's a copy paste now where everyone is like, Attack on Titan is mid. It's basically a copy paste.
Right.
Like
No,
everyone keeps saying that exact phrase.
Yeah.
No elaboration. No. Attack on Titan is mid.
Because it's such easy bait.
Yeah,
right,
it is. It's bait. It's literally bait, but everyone does it.
But the thing is, I didn't even say Jujutsu Kaisen is okay for bait. I just legitimately think it's just okay.
I mean,
I get that.
I really like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine, right? Like there were parts of Jujutsu Kaisen I really enjoyed, but I personally didn't enjoy it as much as other people or as I thought I was going to.
Well, do you feel like saying something is okay or mid is even more of an insult than saying something is bad nowadays? Because I feel like
maybe
I feel like I've just like, at least in like discussing shows or anime or whatever or manga, I feel like you don't see as many people just saying something is straight up bad anymore.
Right.
People just say, "Oh, it's mid. It's just mid."
Yeah.
It's,
Okay. Like I get the word mid.
Mid is insulting.
Yeah.
Because mid is so little effort to articulate how you feel about a show that you can't even like get the energy to even describe what you don't like about it. It's so annoying.
I feel like the word average when talking about a show, there's like a contention between like okay being like, you know, taken more in a positive way, and then mid being taken in like a negative way, right? But they both mean the same thing, technically speaking. Mid is just short for middle, which is okay. Neither good or bad, just okay, right? But like I feel now people take the word okay and put like a negative spin on it, which I get
it. It's like if let's say you had a wedding, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, Mom, did you like the wedding? She's like, it was okay. I would be annoyed. I would be like, what do you mean my wedding was just... I invited you, I put on a spread.
Right, but I feel
the bar was free.
But I feel it's kind of on you to compare your own wedding to Jujutsu Kaisen. I was going to say,
how strongly I feel about my best friend, okay?
I was like, how did we get from Jujutsu Kaisen to a wedding?
Because I'm just thinking, like, let's just say you put your heart and soul out of something you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to Sydney today and be like, Sydney, I know we're getting married this year, but like Jujutsu Kaisen, right? I mean, it's kind of more important than the wedding. I poured my heart into Jujutsu Kaisen more than I did the wedding.
I hope there are people out there that would say that.
I hope somebody asks me how was Garnt's wedding, because I know what I'm gonna say. I already know what I'm gonna say.
I prefer Jujutsu Kaisen over it.
I wish I could have watched the new season. You know,
I feel like he poured his heart more into a Demon Slayer. You know, honestly, he was more passionate about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Just so my advice to all of you who perhaps want to share your opinion about anime: don't use the word "okay" from now on. It can get you cancelled.
No, it's just because of who we are, right? It's because like now we have this little show. We do this little thing.
This little show.
You know, and I think there's a lot more eyes on us.
Yeah.
So people wanna get angry at what we say, you know, because a lot of the times people who get annoyed at this stuff aren't the people who like actually like watch Trash Taste. There's people like outside of Trash Taste who maybe have like some followers who've watched Trash Taste, maybe say some of the clips or whatever, and they're like, you won't believe what these guys who I don't already watch or engage with said. Like they don't know how we behave or how we like go towards a topic or how we tackle it. It's just like, he just said this thing, I disagree with it, I'm gonna get angry.
What's like really weird, especially about my Jujutsu Kaisen hot take, is the fact that I called Jujutsu Kaisen okay months ago on my own channel. Yeah. No one fucking batted an eye. Say it on Trash Taste, everyone loses their mind.
I think it's Trash Taste, right? It's weird, because like, I feel we've got to that point now where like not super small Twitter accounts, but some Twitter accounts with some decent followings will be like, this clown take on Trash Taste XXX.
Yeah.
But I think that's also kind of cool. I'm like, oh, that's awesome that people feel like we're big enough where they can just openly like criticize us publicly. I'm like, go ahead, man.
It is humbling to think that my offhand comment about an anime has like stirred up this much controversy. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, can you not cancel me for saying that a show is okay?
I don't care. I don't lose sleep over it if someone gets angry at me.
I'm not sleeping over it. I just think it's a little like,
I'm glad. Imagine back 4 or 5 years ago, if I'd said the same shit, no one would give a fuck.
No one would care.
I think I'm glad that people care. Sometimes it's annoying.
It's a little too much.
But I love it.
Thank you for caring about my dumb opinion about a show.
I don't care about Joey's opinion, so you should.
I don't even care about my opinion. I just said it.
Well, I think the argument is that we are creators who have a platform and an influence. I mean, that's why they call people like us influencers, right? Even though we fucking hate the word.
I'm allergic to that word.
I love it actually. I mean, I got like that evil voice going for me, so I feel like it works when someone calls me an influencer.
It's just like the one thing I don't like about that word is that it can apply to so many things, like a cult leader is technically an influencer as well.
Those are the OG influencers.
Yeah, they're the OG influencers, right? Like, I don't know if I want to be bunched up in those kinds of people.
I'm kidding, by the way. I don't actually like the word. I like to think that I make something that's somewhat entertaining and good.
I'm just a dude on the internet.
I don't know.
With a bunch of hot takes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I get it to a certain extent where we do have to be careful about some of the stuff we say,
right?
Because there are some topics that I feel we do have to like navigate very very carefully,
of course,
because there are other creators out there who do have a platform and they say shit and their words have a tangible effect on the real world and the community they talk to, but at the same time. There are some things that I just like. It blows my mind that people care this much about.
Right.
Yeah. And like one of the biggest things that I don't understand is people take this. People will take this 1 minute, 2 minute clip from Trash Taste or from one of our streams, because this happened to me a bunch of times, right? Where I will see this clip being circulated, where it's like a 1 or 2 minute clip from the podcast or my stream that's like not scripted. It's just in a conversation that's most of the time doesn't even have anything to do with the take that I'm saying in that one clip, because it's like 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they will take this clip and then spin it to like a whole new level of
like you've planned it all out.
Yeah.
It's a fucking mastermind move.
Yeah. And like I think of this in context, right? And I'm thinking, I don't think people who watch our show or people who are super fans of the show is going to be influenced by a 1 minute clip of us talking about this one subject that most of the time doesn't even have to do with the overall conversation. It's just like it's just most of the time just like an offhand comment or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's gonna fucking influence anybody.
Yeah, like on that segment where Joe, you spoke about Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was like, no, you're a clown.
Right.
It's good. How if you're a viewer, it's like, how can you argue that then you're being influenced to be like Jujutsu Kaisen is mid or okay? Because like there's an active argument going on where we're saying no, it's not. You're wrong. So like, what do you as a viewer? What do you take away from that? It's not. Oh, I'm going to think Jujutsu Kaisen's mid, even if you're like a super fan.
Right.
It's so stupid.
But like that's what I think I like about those kinds of discussions on the show, especially when like two or all of us are like arguing against each other. Right? Is that like it gives so many different points of views where like it's up to the viewers now who you want to agree with, right? And it's like it's not so much me saying, hey, because I think Jujutsu Kaisen is okay, you should also think that way. I mean, if you want to think that way, that's on you, right? But it's not like I'm coming out here, fucking starting a demo of being like, everybody stand up and rise. Jujutsu Kaisen is just okay.
Okay.
And like start a fucking coup d'etat over it, right? It's like, I'm just so fucking, like, I just don't get it. Like, it's fine to be influenced by certain things, but at the same time, it's like, it's just a show, bro.
I think it's a good problem to have in our job.
Of course.
People would spend many years trying to get to the point where we're very fortunate where people watch Trash Taste and people care. I feel very lucky that people want to get angry about small things I joke about.
Yeah, that's fine. Is it a contention for cancellation though? I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. It goes back to like online hate though as well. Like I've got to the point now where it doesn't really bother me that much at all. Really, it's interesting. I think this is just because I've been online for so long now, where now I'm just kind of like just at equilibrium with it. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't even say it's because like I'm okay with it now, or I'm like numb to it. I guess it's like I think Jessica Negri said it best.
Okay.
She said when someone asked her about like how do you deal with like internet hate, or, you know, like how do you get over it?
Yeah.
And she said like you never get over it. It still hurts, but you just learn to live with it.
Like to me, because we have talked about this a few times, but to me, like, you know, without getting to the like the online hate thing, the thing that like the one thing that annoys me than just people actually just like hating on me, you know, and hating on my content, for example, is just when people are like trying to put words in my mouth. To be like Garnt said this, or Garnt said this, and that means X, you know, or that means X, Y, Z. And that to me, there's nothing that wants to make me reply more than people who are spreading this idea that I, you know, maybe
that's the greatest bait of all.
It is, right? It is.
Because at that point, like, I've seen some like instances where like, you know, I say one thing, right, and then it just like spirals out into this like insane story about like how I fucking killed a child or some shit, right? Like it's like something like, you know, like it's like that level of like, how did you take this one little piece of information and spin it in a way that is just couldn't be further from the truth? Like you're basically writing a fan fiction at that point. And it's like, and it's like what? And then there are people who look at that and be like, oh yeah, that sounds like something he'd say. I'm like, what?
I've been thinking about that a lot.
Because I swear to God, I don't know if I don't know if the anime community was always like this, because like to me there are some topics that I always like used to love arguing about, you know, because I felt like, to me, you know, there are some things where you really have to be careful about what you say in terms of like religion, politics, and stuff like that. You
Hence
know,
the reason why we never talk about it on the show.
We've spoken about it a little bit on we never had
we try and avoid it as much.
We never had any problems.
But you know, sometimes you just want to have like a fun argument on someone where you can just shit on their opinion and you don't have to worry about it, because you know that at the end of the day the topic doesn't really matter that much. And to me, like as an anime fan, anime was always one of those topics for me until like quite recently. And I don't know if that's just my perception, because like another topic I would say is you can easily argue with anyone about is food. Everyone loves arguing about food. We do it all the fucking time because it's fun, and it's fun because people understand that people have different tastes and opinion, right? And to me, like anime was always at that same level, as I can easily argue about anyone with anime and not have to worry about, you know, hurting their feelings too much, because I just assume everyone in our community has like an understanding that, dude, you can have your own taste, you can have your own
It's mutual agreement that at the end of the day, even if this one random internet person doesn't think that your favorite show is as good as it is, it's like, that's not going to deter me from the fact I still like this show.
It's probably just changed just because of the scale of trash taste, right? It's like, you know, there's nothing like this back in the day. You know, back on Podtaku, what was the like average viewer count?
Like, I think our most viewed podcast ever was like 100K.
You know, back then it was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right? That's insane. Yeah. But, you know, obviously the scale is completely different now.
Yeah.
Anime has also been somewhat more democratized in a way. Like
democratized.
It's more readily available.
Yeah, definitely more. It's more available to more eyes now.
It's a lot easier to get a hold of.
Yeah.
You know, and discourse about it is way more open, and people are way more open to talk about it. So I think that's why. It's some of the reasons why.
So the problem is it's getting popular.
Well, essentially,
I mean,
you could almost say it's becoming mainstream.
Kinda, because I always had this like image that the anime community felt like it was about like 10 years behind what we saw with the gaming community, right? Because it felt like maybe the gaming industry also had this shift where games used to be just this fun things you numb your brain out to. It didn't really matter that much, you know. You could just have fun with it. And then now games mean like games are a big business. And
it's the same. Essentially. I know that some people gave Zelda Breath of the Wild like a 7 out of 10 when it came out, and they got controversy for that because they didn't give it a 9 or a 10 or something.
So basically, they got cancelled for saying Breath of the Wild was just okay.
No. They said it was just good.
Oh, it's just good.
Okay would be fine. You know, we've had the same thing. It's the same thing again.
Isn't it incredible how one word can completely change everything? Like, there's such a huge difference in like insinuation between calling something good and calling something just good.
It could be the attitude towards it as well. You know, sometimes I think sometimes I can understand. Sometimes the way you talk about anime could definitely you're like, yeah, it's mid, and I can understand why you piss people off, because you sound like you won't even entertain the conversation. You're like, I fucking hate the fact that you even brought this up to me. It was mid. Stop talking to me about it. So I can understand why sometimes people can get annoyed by that. Yeah, because they're like, I wish Joey just even listened to me. It's like me trying to get approval from my parents. It's like, I wish my parents just gave it a chance.
It's like, no.
It's like you're like, you're like, it's mid. You know, I think maybe that's what annoys people.
And look, I can completely get that as well, and that is my bad, to be fair. But at the same time, it's like, you know, sometimes I don't even bother engaging in these conversations because I already know how it's going to end.
I get you, Joe, because it's just happened so many times that
I've done this for almost 9 years, man. I know how a conversation like this is going to end.
I've known you for ages, so
I
know how you are with these conversations.
Yeah, I could give out all these like well thought out, constructed arguments about why I think the show is okay, and people would be like, but I don't agree with it. And I'm like, oh my God, what more can I say?
So what you're saying is if Trash Taste started 6 years ago, you might have got more enthusiastic debate out of it.
Yeah, dude. This would actually be an anime podcast.
No, I don't want an anime podcast.
But no, it's not. It's not now.
It's not now. It's great.
Yeah. Good,
thank God. It's great.
What's going back to the hate thing? What's because you always get asked, right, by new creators or something, or anyone, they're like, how do you deal with online hate? What's the advice that you give someone? Because I've been mulling this over a lot recently, because I think my opinion on it has changed quite a lot. And how
since the last time we talked about this,
I think so. I think I had this like perspective shift recently, and I don't know why, but I was like, the whole thing of living with it and stuff is totally valid advice, and I think that's also good. But I don't know what happened, but now I look at it and I don't really care at all when I see it, because to me in my head they're never angry at like me as a individual person. When I read that, it's like they're angry at like what they think is me. Right. They're not angry at, if they sat with me and spoke with me, they probably wouldn't feel that way, right? But they're angry at the idea of me, and more often than not, it's like they were never going to give me a chance anyway, because I must be a personality they don't like. Or,
but like I feel that way of thinking about things has only been constructed because you've been doing this for so long, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And like, I don't think there are very, very few people who can come right into this industry from the jump and have this like enough self-confidence in themselves and their content and their self-image on the internet to be like, well, that's not about me. That's just about their image of me, right? And I feel like, you know, especially when I started off, like, I didn't have that kind of fucking confidence, right? And I'm sure a lot of people didn't. Where, you know, so like anything, like the moment your name gets mentioned in something, and even if it's not exactly the most like detrimental thing, you know, jab at your personality or whatever, I think people just not used to this and having this like random amount of people coming up to you and being like, by the way, you're kind of shit, you know, is a thing that we're not really used to, right? Because
the human wasn't evolved.
How many people just walk down the street and have a random person be like, excuse me, you're shit? You know, like, no, it doesn't happen, right? But on the internet, that's normal. And I think
it's like New York.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not joking.
Who is it that said like people on the internet have gotten way too used to saying things, not getting punched in the face for it?
Yeah, like, no, absolutely. There's no repercussion for it, right? So it's like, you know, they just think, oh, it's just free range to say whatever the fuck I want, right?
Sorry.
And I was about to say, like, you know, and yes, in a sense, it is kind of free range to say whatever you want, but, you know, with the repercussions, you know, like you can say whatever you want as long as you're willing to pay for the repercussions if they come back to you, right? And they very well might, you know?
Yeah. Because like I actually had to like train my mum up for this like recently, right? Because she's not getting hate, but sometimes she goes through like the Trash Taste videos and like, you know, some of the streams and like the comments, and she like finds these comments and like, Garnt, I want to reply right now. I want to tell them that they're wrong. And like, Mum, do not do that, Mum. Do not do that, Mum. That's even worse. Yeah, my mum does, man. Because my mum reads like so many comments, and like she doesn't understand how to deal with online hate, especially to like her own son. So she's just like, well, sometimes she'll just like send me like a bunch of fucking comments being like, look at all these people saying wrong information about you. I want to reply.
Is that like a Southeast Asian mom thing? Because Aki's mom does exactly the same thing. And where she had to be like, Mum, stop sending me this shit. Stop replying to this shit. Just leave it. I'm fine.
I literally have to explain to her. It's like if a school bully said something to me, and you come up to the school bully in front of everyone in the school and be like, "Don't talk about my son like that." I'm like, Mum, this looks even worse than even if I replied to it personally. Okay?
Oh no, no. How did she take it? How did she take it?
I mean, I told her not to do it. I'm just like, you just don't read it, Mum. I understand what you're going through. Everyone who's a content creator goes through this at the beginning, but you just got to understand that people are just gonna say stuff.
God, and my parents couldn't be more the opposite of that. Like my parents would be like, oh, my dad would be like, oh yeah, some people were saying shit about your last video, and I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, but they're all dicks. Don't worry about it. You'll be alright, mate.
Bro, I'm sweating for the day where I wake up on Twitter one day and then I wake up to like a screenshot that's been spread viral about my mum replying to like one of my haters' comment. Be like, yo, have you seen what Garnt's mum said to this person? I'm like, for fuck's sake.
I just want to see a tweet. I just want to see a tweet from your mum being like, what the fuck did you say to me, you little shit? You kiss your mom with that mouth?
I'll have you know I have 300 confirmed kills.
Oh my God, I love that.
I think we should, we need some comments from your mum. I think
definitely.
I think that'd be good. We should have a segment where we read out your mum's reply comments.
Have your parents ever like looked through your comments or looked through your videos to see what people are saying about you?
I think so. I think my mum one time was like really sad about it. She was like, why are they saying mean things on this one thing about you?
Right.
And I was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. She was like,
it's so cute though, right?
Yeah, she was way more upset about it than I was. I was like, I don't give a shit. But, obviously, because it's not normal to see people badmouth your son.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
It's not a normal thing you get to experience.
Of course,
so it's quite a visceral emotion.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said if my kid was in that situation, I wouldn't do the same thing, right?
Oh yeah, I'd probably want to punch someone.
Yeah, I'd be like, don't
How
worry.
dare you make my kids
They're just dicks.
Yeah. Like honestly, I kind of get it. I'm the same, I guess, because I feel like more anger when I see people shit talking Sydney than I see when I see people.
Oh
shit
yeah,
talking
it's the same. Like if
I see one person shit talking one of my bros, I'm just like, fuck that.
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
I want to fucking call them out now.
And I guess like if in that vein, like the one thing I hate more than people taking my shit out of context, right, and trying to cancel me for something completely not related, is when they just like drag my friend into it, and especially people who like don't matter at all. I'm like, okay, you can say shit about me, right? Like I'll take care of that. That'll be my problem. But don't drag people who have nothing to do with this shit into it. Like, don't drag in my girlfriend or my friends or like my fucking mom or anything. Like this got nothing to do with them. If you hate my opinion, just shit talk me. I'll deal with it. I'll cry into my own pillow. But I won't. I don't want people shit talking other people. That's like the one thing I hate. Don't do that. You're a dick if you do that.
You're a dick if you do that.
This episode is sponsored by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer.
Guys, how do you feel about shopping online?
I enjoy it. It's very handy.
Never shop in person.
No,
God, you do it quite often, right?
Of course.
I mean, of course, we're weebs. We don't leave the house. Do you want to save more money?
Hell yeah.
Of course. Well, thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. So you can save money that easily. Honey is a free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best ones it finds to your cart.
Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you get to the checkout, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds for Honey to search for the coupons it can find for this site, and if Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop.
Boys, it's the Valentine's weekend as we're recording this. What did you save on?
Well, I cheaped out, and I bought some flowers for Sydney. Don't tell her, but I saved so much money thanks to Honey.
How much did you save, Garnt?
I saved a whole $15.
On flowers?
On flowers.
Oh, they're basically giving it to you for free.
I know. Damn. Don't tell Sydney.
But did you know, gentlemen, that Honey doesn't just work on desktop, it works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari on your phone and you can save on the go.
On the go?
On the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting the boys as well.
I'd never recommend something I don't use. So get Honey free today at joinhoney.com/trashtaste. That's joinhoney.com/trashtaste.
Back to the episode.
This is our quarterly YouTube Twitch rant podcast episode. But I mean, I know a lot of people might not empathize with us because we do talk about it, a lot. And I don't know if for an audience it's tiring ever, but I kind of feel like we need this every once in a while. Otherwise, we're just gonna have this emotion in us, and we just every so often I just need to let it out.
Of course.
I just need to let it out. I feel like for content creators, it's healthy, and it's like, to me, being able to talk to other content creators about it, it's a healthy way to get all of this like toxicity out of yourself and just, you know, get on with your life.
Yeah. You know, I think before Trash Taste, definitely would need to talk to another content creator every now and then, just rant.
Yeah.
Just need it. Because it's better to rant to another content creator than do it on a video or on a stream.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, I got a question. Have you guys ever like tried to explain when you're like going through some controversy or something's going on and you have to try and explain it to someone who just does not understand YouTube and is just not involved in the
it doesn't work. I'm just like, don't worry about it. It's a little annoying right now. It'll pass.
No hate against anyone we explain this to, because to their credit, they tried their hardest to understand what's going on, but like
I don't get it.
I remember I had to like pretty early on in my career when like, you know, I was getting that like, you know, first initial wave of like, you know, you're notable enough in the community now where people outside of your community will find you and start shit talking.
Corpse Party was mid. What did
something like that. Yeah.
What did you say?
I mean, it is.
No.
Just kidding. But like, you know, when you start to get that first wave and you're like, oh fuck, I don't know who to talk to about it. I don't know what, I'm getting cancelled, blah, 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 even though it was like barely nothing, right? I remember I was talking to one of my schoolmates about it, being like, yeah, so like these bunch of people like coming into my, you know, comment section saying that I suck and blah, blah, blah. And I remember one of them was just straight up like, just tell them to fuck off. I was like, yeah, thought about that. Not an option, unfortunately, when it's one of me and many others, you know, who I'm up against. Not really that easy, is it?
Yeah, because
if only it was that easy.
If only, because like I remember like every time I've tried to explain something that's been going on in like the YouTube sphere, some controversy, you're just like, oh, okay, so this person said this and is pissing a bunch of people off. Like, holy shit, Twitter's getting angry, and then you talk to the person and like, why are people getting angry?
Yeah,
and you're just like,
I said this anime was bad.
So this person said this anime was bad, and these group of people got pissed off about it, and then they go, so why were they pissed off about it? And then you keep going layers and layers deep until you get to a point where they just forget what the original like reason people are getting angry for now.
Or it's to the point where you like, the more arguments come through and the more layers down it goes, you just start to realize, wait, it's not a problem. There's no problem to begin with. I'm just making it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember back in the day where drama could be addressed with, like, just one short tweet longer. Yeah. And now it's got to a point where you need, like, a 4-hour breakdown to understand, like, the full depth of some of this drama. Yeah. And I don't know when that shift happened, when it was just like, okay, now you need a fucking thesis. Like, it's a full-on dissertation to break down the, like, a play-by-play of, like, the entire month leading up to this one tweet.
Except instead of one professor, like, marking it down, it's the entirety of the internet being like, but did you use correct citations for it? No. Marks down.
Do we have the receipts?
Do you have the receipts?
It's crazy. It's crazy how especially that side of the internet has evolved. Especially like I think drama culture is kind of a thing now. Where
it's definitely a thing.
I see some content creators who, you know, start off doing their own thing, and then I don't know how or why, but a lot of people I've seen have just slowly shifted into just like drama channels, you know, maybe intentionally, maybe not intentionally, but it seems like every other upload seems to be talking about some kind of drama or some kind of controversy that's going on. Yeah.
It's very good for business, though.
Oh, definitely. It's very profitable.
One of those things where if you're in drama that isn't really drama, like it's something you let's say, like you said, you have a bad take on anime or something, right? Those kind of drama are just generally just good for you because there's no real downside, because nobody who actually watches you gives a fuck that you said a show is bad. Like when I said 86, I didn't like 86, right? There's a lot of people mad about that. Yeah. But I doubt there was many people who are like, I can't watch Trash Taste or Connor ever again because he said my favorite show is bad, right? But maybe other people who are like, maybe some people who are watching you or some people outside of it see this drama and think, this is really fucking stupid. I might go and check them out, or I'm more familiar with their name through this drama. Because drama has a really good way of, I feel like a click on a drama video is like much more engaging than a normal clip.
Oh, definitely.
So when you get like a million views on a drama video, the million views on that drama video and maybe let's say just a generic gaming video, they're not equal. Like the drama engagement and how much people are invested is so much more.
Yeah.
And especially if it's something that paints you in a good light or paints you in a way that makes it look like you didn't really do anything, then it's great for you, because then now you're just going to get people who are more invested in you, people who think that you've been done wrong, and then they're going to support you more.
Yeah.
So when these people do this shit and they try and drag you in the drama, this is why a lot of big Twitch streamers get into this kind of drama very often, because it is really good for solidifying your base viewership. They want to support you. They will help you. And then people who see it and think, oh, they weren't really in the wrong, they might come and check you out and feel a bit more strongly about you because they want to support you, because they feel like this is some bullshit that was done to you.
I feel like drama videos, like especially in like multiple successions, right, of the same drama, like every day. It's like, it's almost like the world's most engaging Let's Play. Yeah, you know, in a sense where it's like, you know, you're more likely, if you're really into like a drama video, you're more likely to come back to that part two than a regular gaming video.
I think it's just the modern day reality TV show.
Oh, definitely.
Because like, here's the thing. Do you think people actually care about drama? Do you think people like
only when it's like, you know, clearly like there is a wrong person who did a shit thing, right? But like 90% of YouTube dramas, no.
Yeah.
I think there will be a core audience that does feel betrayed. But I think the majority of people are there just for the popcorn.
Of course.
Because like I remember like the most recent drama I can remember happening off the top of my head right now is the one that involved Pokemon and Ninja, right?
Oh yeah.
And like obviously that got like a lot of views. A lot of views when it came out, and a lot of people were discussing it. But I remember like my first initial reaction to hearing about this drama that was going on was, okay, what the fuck happened?
It was really hard to figure out what's going on.
It was so hard to figure out
as a content creator, I was like trying to like fucking piece together who was mad at who did wrong to who, how did it lead to this situation, and they were like
it took Philly D 5 minutes to explain it, and that's a lot for Philly D.
And like I'm just thinking,
like 1 minute Russia is invading, 1 minute for that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, 5 minutes of Pokemon and Ninja. Legit, it was like that. I was like, oh my god, it was like the majority of the video. It was crazy.
Yeah. Like I had like an easier time understanding some of like the world situation going on right now and the world politics than like how this drama started and the evolution of this drama. It was like so surreal, like trying to figure out why, like what was going on, right? Because if me as a content creator who knows the content creators within this drama was like having trouble figuring out because I wasn't there right at the beginning, I can't imagine how a general audience feels. You know, where they're just where like it seems like people are just seeing people talk about this on their timeline and they don't even know. Like you get to a point where you kind of are waiting for someone to tell you who you should be angry at,
right?
Or who's in the wrong.
And that's the problem, is that I feel 90% of drama is not so much about like trying to uncover the details and, you know, like gathering the receipts and doing like a fucking criminal investigation into who started it and who's the culprit, who's the victim. It's literally just, you see a piece of drama like the Pokemon and Ninja one, right?
Yeah.
And 90% of the audience just goes, okay, so who am I rooting for?
Yeah.
Give me two people to root for. Give me two people to fight for. All right, it's Ninja and Pokemon. All right. Well, I like that person better just from the one thing I've heard about them, so I'll just root for them.
Yeah, because it's not always the case, but yeah.
A lot of it is like that, though. You have to admit. A lot of it's like that. Especially if you're not in that community or don't give a shit about that community.
Yeah.
You know, like if a bunch of like, you know, fucking fashion YouTubers, right, get into some drama. Right, like
that's what they want, though.
Yeah, but that's what they want, right? But like, I'm not going to care about the details. All I'm going to care about is, okay, so who are the two people in question? Yeah, and what is the general consensus on these two people who are fighting? Right, like that's all it is to me. Like, other than that, I don't give a shit personally.
Yeah,
I don't. You know, even though it's good for business, I don't think a lot of these Twitch streamers try to get into this stuff.
That's
I
the
think
question,
some of them maybe do.
Yeah.
I know that I don't try to, but I'm just brash. With my words, and also not very good at explaining my arguments on the spot, as we all know from Trash Taste.
Yeah.
So I end up getting into these things.
A lot of people aren't good at explaining their arguments on the spot, which I think is where the problem stems from, right? Because, you know, I would like to think that we're all like very well spoken and, you know, are on the ball 24.
When I want to be.
Yeah, you can be. But like it's hard where you have so many hours of content around yourself just talking, and just not just Trash Taste, but Twitch streamers as well. And especially with Twitch streamers where they are basically on camera, live, in an audience, like 8 hours a day plus, you know, there's going to be a time where you are not as careful with your words, where you slip up a bit, and that's just going to happen. You know, it would happen to anyone in the same situation. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's deep.
That's deep, bro.
Damn, bro.
Damn, that's deep.
That hit me right there, man.
Damn, that's deep.
Ooh,
that's deep.
God damn.
That's deep. You know what's something that Twitch streaming has made me feel a lot more? I feel like I really feel a lot more strong about the viewers who like turn up like every day to the shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because like, you know, when you're YouTubing, I see that fucking who's a ninja guy who comments on every video?
The guy without a mustache.
There's like 500 of these channels now, right? You're like, all right, the same people can't, whatever. But like on Twitch, it's like, all right, I know a bunch of the names of people who like turn up every single time. There's this person called like Blue Sky Days who every single stream gives me 5 subs, and I feel like they've made it into a ritual. I'm not trying to, I just want to, there you go. There's a shout out. Thank you. I really appreciate it. But like, to me, it's like, again, going back to the hate stuff as well, it's like, all right, when I think about getting sad about some people not liking what you do or whatever, I'm like, okay, but like how much more would it hurt me if I had to explain to, say, that person who maybe turns up all the time, be like, hey, by the way, I'm quitting. I don't like this because some people said mean things about me. I feel like seeing that person be like, oh, you're going to quit? But I like watching your stuff. That would hurt me way more than anything anyone could say. Like,
of course.
Connors fell off ratio, you know, whatever. Like, that nothing. You know?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, to me, like, I feel the same with like some of my patrons because I have patrons who have been fans of me for like, or who have been watching me since since like, you know, 10 years ago or something. And they've been there since the start of when I opened my Patreon, and they're still with me to this day. And I'm just like, that's fucking insane. You know, that's like, you know, shout out to all you guys in the Patreon Discord server, because it's like I like having my Patreon Discord server because it's just like a very close-knit community, and it's just, you know, it's nice having just familiar faces that have just
it is.
Like,
it is
just
really
like
helps.
stuck with you for that long. You know, it makes you feel, what's the word? Not validated, but just happy that you kind of do what you do. You know?
Yeah, very much.
I definitely feel that way as well about like, you know, like YouTuber friends who were there since like the very beginning, right? Like, I have a couple who were still around, like, you know, back when I had like fucking less than 1,000 subs, right? And I was doing like gaming videos and shit, and like I still talk to a lot of them, and like, you know, if I would have, again, same thing. Like, if I would have just one day be like, yeah, I kind of just fucking hate this, you know, people are shitting on me, blah, 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 then, you know, I would, it's like betraying a family member at this point, you know? It's like they've been there, they've seen, you know, thick and thin of me and being like, nah, dude, you got this. And they've like believed in me the entire time, right? And then for me to just be like, I can't take a bunch of people, you know, giving me shit for saying that Jujutsu Kaisen was okay. You know, I'm sorry, I have to.
I was considering it in the podcast. I was like, fuck Joey.
Yeah. I have to go.
Ignorant fuck didn't like Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm done. It's over with.
I didn't say I didn't like it. It's okay.
You didn't come.
It's just okay. It's just okay.
That is offensive to everything I hold dear.
The more you say it, the more offensive it sounds.
Stop.
I don't know how this is happening.
You know,
am I supposed to rephrase? It was average.
It wasn't average. I'm not even going to entertain you on this. It was better than average. Come on.
Why do you think I don't want to start these conversations?
These are the kind of people that will say it's average and then give Love Life a 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? It's like, I can't stand this.
Oh, I mean, I don't even want to get into Love Life, dude. Are you kidding me? Fuck that.
You just angered all the Love Life fans with that one.
That is a conversation I'm not going to engage in for good reason.
I know a lot of Love Life fans. I'm hating on you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just joshing with you guys.
They won't take it that way. They'll be like, I can't believe you took this as a joke.
Right, here goes my L this week.
There's your cancellation for the week.
You know, wait, sorry, what were you
I was going to say we're very fortunate that, you know, in YouTube it's hard to have, not hard, but it can be quite difficult to be friends, have a good friendship with other YouTubers for a long period of time, just because of the nature of the job.
Oh, definitely.
It just, you know, things change, people get busy, people move, people get on with their life, do different content, fall off ratio, all that kind of stuff, you know, like the work. So, you know, very, very lucky there were some good friends. And we've been friends for a very long time. We all happen to kind of be around the same kind of sphere and do the same thing, same time. And it all kind of worked out. Very lucky.
And I think, that's like another thing as well, is that like, I think, you know, like if we're going back to like, you know, fucking helpful advice for like people starting off, right? Like another one that I get often as well is that like, oh, what do I do about like collabing and stuff, you know, because it's like, you know, I feel that's like the easiest way to grow out your channel from an early stage. And I'm like, yes, in a sense, if you do it right. But you know, you shouldn't be like a channel with 200 subs and fucking DMing Felix to like collab with you, right? Like that's, you know, you got to know your boundaries and stuff like that. And also like another piece of advice that I saw on Twitter the other day, which I thought was very true, was that, you know, I think a lot of like YouTubers have this like weird, especially those starting off, have this like weird misunderstanding that they think everyone who collabs with them is also a friend of theirs. And that is just unfortunately not true.
Sometimes
there are
a
lot of people who just see it as business, who just want to do this one-time thing or just to do this thing to benefit themselves, but also, you know, the person they're collabing with. Yeah. And it's almost unhealthy to see a person who you collab with as just your mate.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's a very big difference between a collaborator and an actual friend. Yeah. And I think like once you've like really fully started to understand that at an early stage and really gone and thought to yourself, okay, who is actually my friend? Like someone who will hang out with me when the cameras are not rolling.
Yeah.
And who is someone that is just there for the clout.
Do you have a hard time drawing that line? Like,
No.
No.
It's like, you know,
I've done this for long enough now where I know.
Yeah. It's like being an adult, right? You just kind of, God forbid I have to be an adult. You know, you kind of learn just, you know, you vibe with people. Sometimes you don't vibe with people. Sometimes someone is really, like, you really love what they make and you really like how they go about it. And sometimes you hang out with them and it just didn't click, you know, it's kind of weird. The conversation was a little like, oh, okay. And other times it's like, holy shit, like I got on so well with this person, but then maybe you feel that way and they don't, which is then, this is an experience thing we have to learn. All right. Okay. Even if I really like that person, I liked hanging out with them, I want to talk to them again. It's like, all right, you got to be like normal about it. Don't be like, let's hang out next day. Let's do it. You know?
Like, I space it out of it.
Yeah. I don't know how we got to like that. I don't know how we became super close, but because I remember there was definitely a time when I was like, yeah, these guys are cool, but I don't want to like burden them. You know? I don't want to like text them too much. Because I remember like when I met Garnt, we didn't really talk in between hanging out. It was kind of like we'd hang out and then it was like a thing. I don't really know.
I mean, you sent me a fucking email.
I sent you an email. I don't know how that worked. I would have put that right in the trash.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the type of guy who really connects with someone hanging out.
Yeah, same.
Hanging out like personally or physically, you know, like
Garnt needs to touch your face, lick your sweat, suck your gut.
What?
If you're a JoJo fan,
I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about there.
Garnt will sexually harass you.
You are not a friend of mine until I suck your dick.
Garnt is Harvey Weinstein.
I was going to mention I'm the type of guy who might not talk so much like online or on the phone.
No,
like
I'm joking. Garnt does not sexually harass people.
It was just like visual like whiplash for me because I was trying to make this poignant point and Connor just goes, Garnt sucks dick. He's like sweat. I'm just like, what? What did I say? What did I say?
Confirm. That was a weird time at the onsen. Pretty sure I was told that's how you do it.
Yeah, because I remember we didn't message too much, but I had a fun time hanging out whenever we hang out in person, and we just ended up hanging more times in person, and I guess it just happened naturally, right? But I mean, going from what you said about being friends versus collaborators, I like even me as someone who doesn't collab too much. I mean, I barely collab at all, but even me as a content creator, I can already. There are some content creators who you enjoy their content and you really respect the work that they do, but there are some people that you just think, yeah, I probably wouldn't get along with you. I love the work you do, but I probably would not get along with you. And on the opposite end, there are also other people who you don't like their content, but you're like, maybe I can get along with this guy.
Definitely.
Seems like a chill dude or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that whole thing of like separating the artist from the art, right? Which is way easier said than done in a lot of cases.
It's just tough. It's tough.
Yeah. I also, it just feels like it's been so long since I've been able to like meet a lot of new content creators who I've watched because of the past 2 years, because we've only been able to meet people in Japan.
Right.
And I feel like now, normally like you get a point every year where you get to this opportunity to fly out to America or fly out to somewhere, fly out to conventions and actually meet fellow content creators. And I just feel like, I've forgotten what that feels like now.
Yeah,
I've forgotten what it feels like just to like just to have that
Just
like
meet
first
people.
just have like the first awkward meeting of just, oh hey, I watch your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I like what you do. You know, and then like
It's like, oh thanks. You want to take a photo?
I miss just getting to speak English to people. I just want to speak English to someone.
Do you remember the first time you met someone online who you knew online, but you'd never like met in real life? Do you remember what that feeling's like?
Oh,
because it's always I know like one of the biggest things I first notice. It's always height, always height.
Oh yeah.
They are never the height you expect them to be. And
absolutely.
you know that's true on my end as well, because every time someone meets me, that's the first comment every time.
It's either height or, depending on if you're a content creator who shows their face or not, it's also like how they look as well.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely got that when I first met John, Super Eyepatch Wolf, because you know he's in almost all his videos he never shows his face.
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
for the longest time, people didn't know what he looked like.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously when he first blew up, everyone was like, all the YouTubers were like, this guy's content's fucking amazing. It's great. I would love to meet him. And then when we heard that he was coming to AX, everyone was like, it was like a fucking AX guest. He was like, yo, hype, Super Eyepatch Wolf's coming to AX, dude. Let's fucking go. And then you go to the gathering.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of faces there that you think might be Super Eyepatch Wolf, right? But you don't know who, right? Because you've never seen his face.
Yeah.
And then when you meet him finally, I remember the first thing I said to John, I was like, I'm sorry if this is weird, but you're like really hot. Like,
I mean, he is.
If I was a chick,
my God.
if I was a chick, I would be head over heels.
He
for
is
you,
the
dude.
Sigma male of the
he's
YouTube.
He really is.
Sigma.
And
Like-
luckily he took it in like a good way, right?
That fucking jawline, man.
Dude,
God, John, please.
That man,
please, John.
like, dude, he could break bricks with that jawline.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how hot he is.
Why aren't you more on camera more
I
often,
know.
John?
I know. You need to show your face more, John. You're a good-looking dude.
Although he did buy a Dell computer, that was kind of.
Oh yeah, that was a great video.
Yeah, that was a good video.
Imagine buying a Dell computer.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
But like, you know,
I'd break my
when it comes to like looks as well, but also like physique and as you said, like height, you know, like I get my fucking height pointed at all the goddamn time. And I'm like, I never thought that would be a weird thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet up with people online often, like before YouTube? Was it everything you ever used to do?
No, not really.
Yeah, because I feel like I made online friends because of YouTube.
Yeah, same.
And like not the other way around. So it's with more of, especially during the pandemic, with more people making friends online, I'm sure a lot more people are going to be experiencing this experience. But like it was like an alien experience to me the first time I did it, and it's still weird. I never get used to meeting someone who I know online, and maybe especially if they're like a content creator, you know? And it feels so weird now because I'm a content creator and I've been on the other side of it, and I still like sometimes I just don't know how to approach someone whomst I know.
It's so weird. It's like it's that feeling of meeting that content creator that you've only seen in video in person, and the first thing that pops into your mind is, I've only ever seen you behind a screen. like that mentality never dies. It's so weird. Even though I'm also in that same position now to that other person, right?
It's so weird. It's so weird. One of my first thoughts is, oh, that's what the back of their head looks like. I don't know why.
Why is that?
Because it's just not an angle you've ever seen. So it's just so surreal seeing like just this angle of just like, is that person? And you're just like, oh wait, no, it is that person. Oh, okay.
I kind of get what you mean.
I had this. I just remember this really painful fucking cringe thing I did.
Right.
I was at an AX party, right?
Yeah.
You know, I was chilling, and you know, it's where you kind of bump into people that you somewhat recognize, or maybe you know them, you've spoke to them once. You know, you go over and say hi and stuff. And I was at this party, and there was a group of people, like maybe like 5 content creators, influencers, whatever you want to call them. That I didn't really know. But there's one person who I saw them and I was like, oh, I know that person. I spoke to them in the UK. So I went over to go say hi, right? And I was like, oh, hi, nice to see you. How you doing? We hung out in the UK. Turns out it wasn't that person. I had mistaken them and I thought it was them. And I shit you not, this shit, even this, I'd never like been fucking, I hadn't even drank that much. It was like, I had 2 drinks, just got them. It was like one or 2 drinks. And even though I like wasn't drunk at all, I somehow sobered up, even though I hadn't even, even though I was still sober. I was like, Well, yeah, sorry about that. I was like, yeah, I know you and stuff. And she's like, it's not me. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, because you really look like this person. I really thought you were this person. And I was like, okay, I could have maybe died on this sword and get out my phone and be like, look, you look really like this, but no, it wasn't. And yeah, it was a really awkward thing where I was like, oh, that's really embarrassing. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a good time.
Yeah.
Ignore me. And then I walked away really awkwardly, like, why am I so cringe?
I mean, I'm sure. Have you like met fans who have kind of been like that as well? Like,
yeah, I don't care. Yeah. I'm indifferent towards it, but I know it's.
I mean,
like,
I guess that's how they feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when it's it was like 5 content creators. It's like, great. Now they're all going to think I'm like this fucking weirdo who just approaches people and goes, "Are you this person?" And then,
it's me. It's me. Look.
I think I have I'm blind. And then when I went home, whatever, and I followed.
So was it another content creator, or was it?
It was another content creator.
Okay.
I was taking them for another one.
Okay.
Who happened to be in like the same field and stuff as well, and it was also really awkward because I'm sure they recently followed me on Twitter, and I wonder if they remember me going up to them like 3 years ago doing this. If I ever meet them, I'm going to ask them again if they remember.
My favorite interaction of that's kind of similar. I was on the opposite end though.
Yeah.
Was in Singapore AFA when I went with Garnt, and there was this one moment I'll never fucking forget. I'm sorry if you watch this show, but this guy, I was walking with Garnt and Alan and Sydney through the convention hall, because I was on my way to something, and this dude just like spots me from across the hallway, right? And he's like looking me dead in the fucking eyes. All right. So I'm like, oh, he clearly knows me. Right.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, just waved to him or whatever. And he came up to me and he was like, oh my God, are you Gigik?
I remember that. I was standing right behind you.
And imagine me, this kid, so fucking excited, right? Calling me Gigik and me having to go, no, but he is.
I'm fucking up.
And Garnt's just like, yep, I'm Gigik.
I remember thinking, I don't even know how to feel about this. You know,
there was a split second where I'm like, this is a bit, right? Like, this is a joke. Funny.
I'm just like, should I be happy or offended? I'm not sure, but I kind of feel both right now. Happy that obviously someone recognized me, but someone knows me. But unhappy that I was literally standing right here, and they go to Joey and goes, "Love your work, Joey. Love your work.
I love your videos.
love your videos, Gig."
I love those animated minutes that you make.
And I was like, yeah, you should probably talk to him about it.
What did he do when you told him?
And it obviously, like, again, at first I thought it was like kind of just like a joke, right? Yeah. Being like, oh, I'll just say it's Joey, ha ha ha, funny. And I was waiting for him to be like, nah, I'm just kidding, and then actually turn towards Garnt.
Yeah.
But the moment I kind of pointed to Garnt, and he looked at Garnt and just, his smile just dropped. like he was like, oh God, I have made a horrible mistake. I am so sorry to the both of you. I mean, he still knew me though, but I guess he just mixed me and Garnt's usernames up.
Yeah, he might have just said
he might.
Yeah, I mean, he was a nice kid, so it's whatever, but it was one of the funniest interactions I've seen. Just experienced.
Well, have you ever had that point where you're talking to a fan or something, and they said, "Oh, I loved when you did X video," and you think to yourself,
"I didn't do that video.
I didn't do that video."
No, my favorite is when they're like,
sometimes I do. If we're like having more than a 5-minute conversation, I'm just like, I didn't make that video, but sometimes they just say this one comment and they leave, and I'm just like, I won't ruin their day. I won't ruin their day.
Like, I don't want to think they messed up. You know? I don't care. I don't want to think that.
My favorite for those that I never have the heart to tell them is when they're like really trying to sell you on the point that they've been a fan for a really long time, and they're like, "Oh, Joey, I fucking love your stuff, man. I've been watching you since 2010, man. Like, it's great." And I'm like, "All right, bye." And then in the back of my head, I'm like, I started in 2013. I don't really have the heart. I was in high school in 2010, so it would be scary if you knew me back then. Jesus Christ. But I don't have the heart to tell them. I don't want to be that guy, right? To be like, fake fan. I don't want to do that to them.
I don't know if I've told this story. I know I've told you guys this story. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, right?
Right.
It was the meetup I did at with Bookwalker at AX, right, where I just signed and took pictures. The one
with
Sydney, he got like his stat. Interrupting, right? And the line was pretty long. I was very happy with myself. I was like, wow, people actually want to come and hang out with me. Awesome. You know, and this, I don't know how long the line took. Maybe like 30 minutes. I don't know how long.
I think it was capped. I think we all capped at like an hour, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
So yeah, it was like that. Whatever. It was 30 minutes, and I'm doing that, and like one guy comes up to me, and I'm like, holy shit. Like there's a guy here.
This is back in your 93% days.
This is 93%
back when it was like it wasn't guys, right?
Yeah.
But you know, so I appreciate it. I was like, oh, thanks, man. And so I'm like, yo, hi, how you doing, man? He's like, oh, I'm good. And then we take a photo, and he's like, yeah, man, could you sign this Goblin Slayer book? I really like the work you did on it. And I was like, come again? He's like, are you not the author for Goblin Slayer? And I was like, no. I was like, he was like, oh, but I thought this was like a Goblin Slayer booth. And I was like, no. No, I'm a YouTuber. And in my head, I was like, did this guy like look at the name?
Yeah.
I don't know who the author of Goblin Slayer is, but I'm guessing it doesn't look like a Connor.
His name's Kagyu Kumo, so it's very different.
I don't know. Maybe this guy was like, I do not judge. I do
not see race.
I do not see country, race, ethnic background. He's like, I'm open to all walks of life.
Maybe a white guy from Wales could have, written a light novel.
Like, damn, this boy is very Nihongo Joseph. If that's the case. Holy shit!
I felt so bad for this kid because I didn't care that he confused me, but this guy looked so embarrassed, and his face, I'd never seen a face drop that fast. Because we've taken the photo and shit too on his phone, and I'm like, you can go ahead and delete that. I won't be mad. I signed this thing as well.
Yeah.
I signed his Goblin Slayer book. And then he tells me he loved my work on Goblin Slayer. Like, what, was that a goblin or something? Like, what? I didn't know what I did on Goblin Slayer. I don't know if I should be offended or not.
So funny. Because I remember having this one conversation once with a fan. You know, sometimes you get into like pretty intense conversation with fans about some of your videos or something when you have the time to. So I remember this one fan at like, I think it was like AX or one of the anime conventions, and we got into this conversation about Bleach, right? And at this point, I've said my takes about Bleach a lot, whether on my videos, and my first video was a Bleach video, in other videos, and podcasts, Botaku,
Did you say
and
it was
Trash
just
Taste.
okay?
Huh?
Did you say it was just okay?
I mean, I'm not gonna open that box of worms right now. But like, I remember,
can of worms.
Box of worms. I'm not gonna open that can of worms right now. But I remember we were having this fucking intense conversation about Bleach, and he kept saying things like, "I remember when you said this about the Hueco Mundo arc, and like this about Tite Kubo. Like, can you like expand on that? Because like, I don't agree with this." And we were like having this full debate about this, right? And I remember thinking, I don't remember saying this about Bleach, but I might have said that about Bleach. So I'm just going to entertain the idea of this argument of this debate that he's having about me. Yeah. And so we go on this like 10-minute fucking debate about Bleach, right? Oh my God. And then at the end, I'm just like, yeah, I finally understand your Fall of Bleach video now. And I'm just like, that was John's video. and at that point, I didn't even have the heart to tell him, because I'm just like, we've been talking about a video that I didn't make for 10 fucking minutes and having a full-on debate about it.
How did he not realize that your voice and John's voice is like completely different?
How did I not realize that he was talking about a video that I didn't make? Because the thing is, I've talked so much shit about Bleach that I'm just like, that sounds like something I might have said. I've talked a lot of things about Bleach. I might have said that.
It wasn't you arguing your opinions. It was you agreeing with John.
I was arguing John's opinion without me even being involved.
You're like, step aside, John. I got this. I got your back, bro.
I hope John appreciates you. You showed that guy a lesson.
I did. John, I'm fighting the good fight, John. I'm fighting the fucking good fight.
He's got his boxing gloves on for you, man. Like, he's fighting back. Oh, my God.
It's also that thing where, like, I have said so much stuff in my years of being online that I have forgotten a good chunk of any jokes or anything I've made. And I've had those awkward moments where someone will make will reference a video of mine from like 4 years ago. And I'll be like, what did you say? And oh my God, I said that. They said the thing, and I'm like, when did I say that?
No, the worst is when they ask you to say it.
Oh,
being like, I love this video that you made. Can you say that one line? And I was like,
I know, I say it.
No, but it's when you don't remember what they're talking about, right? When it's like a video from a Let's Play from like 6 years ago. It's like, say that one thing you said in Corpse Party episode 42. And I was like, remind me how it goes again?
That's oddly specific. Why would someone ask you that?
I've had that before
really?
in the past, I mean, I've made over 1,000 videos, right? Like, I don't remember every single one I made.
Yeah, it's gotten like, it's been extrapolated even fucking more with Trash Taste now.
Oh, yeah.
Where I will get comments or I'll get like people.
I'm so excited to have people bring up my opinions that I've totally forgot.
Because I've had conversations with people I've met here who obviously watch Trash Taste, and they were like, remember, and they say to me, remember when you said this? And I'm just like, did I say that? No. I mean, that kind of sounds like something I said. I don't remember when I said it, but like the Bleach video, I'm just going to assume that you're right, and I did say that. So let's just entertain this idea and have this conversation. Of course. Basically, if you meet me in a convention and you said, you said this, what's your opinion about it? I'm probably just going to entertain that idea regardless of whether I said it or not.
Let's talk about that.
I love conventions so much, man. This is my weekly reminder that I miss conventions.
God, I miss conventions so much. I'm hoping out of hope that we can go to a convention. Will this year be the year? This year be the year. I'm
praying this is the year we finally get to go to convention.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
One day.
This episode is sponsored by Magic Spoon.
Guys, did you like cereal as a kid?
Oh, yeah, of course.
But don't you wish the cereal grew up with you? Well, introducing Magic Spoon, the perfect cereal for adults.
If I'm reading this correctly, it's 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving, and that's only 140 calories per serving.
Oh my God.
Also keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low carb.
Let me try some now.
What flavor you got there?
I got the cocoa flavor right here.
It's got a nice crunch to it.
Does it remind you of your childhood?
Fucking hell. It's so delicious, you can barely keep it in your mouth.
It was actually really good. Yeah. Honestly, Magic Spoon sent us a bunch of cereal boxes to try out before, and apart from these ones, me and Sydney have already finished all of them because they're actually really, really good.
I actually came to the office this morning eating a bowl of these frosted ones.
Like, honestly, I'm going to ask for more boxes to be sent here. Okay, that's legit. I'm actually going to ask for more boxes.
I actually love this stuff.
So, what are you waiting for? Click the link down below to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use promo code TRASHTASTE to get $5 off any order, or go to magicspoon.com/trashtaste. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. I wish I had that in my own life. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link in the description down below and use coupon code TRASHTASTE for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/trashtaste to save $5 today.
Get the cocoa flavor. This one actually slaps.
The frosted flavor is also... Actually, they're all really
good. They're all really good. But this one's my favorite.
Yeah, my favorite is definitely the frosted one.
Back to the episode.
Because we have, we have a lot of things planned for this year that are, outside of Japan. Not spoiling anything more than just that. But I'm hoping that I get to interact with people again,
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, because the convention, I miss the vibe of conventions, I didn't realize how much I missed it until you couldn't go to it anymore.
Right.
I just missed that whole convention vibe and just the positive, the positive air and the positive attitude and just, having fun for a weekend.
Yeah. I just love that, that the ambience of a convention hall of just the low murmur everywhere, and it's
excited.
It's like everyone's just there and excited, and it's like you can feel the hype. I
love the energy.
Room, and it's
it smells.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't think I would miss the smell of stale sweats that you smell in the convention hall.
Speak for yourself. I don't miss that shit. Go on.
I mean, I miss it I don't miss it. I just miss that reminds me that I am at a convention, and this is the smell of a convention.
When you walk into a clean room and you're like, damn it, man. it ain't that AX smell though. It ain't that AX.
The air's too clean right now.
It's too clean right now.
It definitely ain't the gaming area.
Nah. There's not enough precipitation in the air. There's not enough gamer precipitation in the air.
Man, I just miss it so much. Man. So especially when you get those it'll be a few months or even a year later, and someone will say they'll be like, oh, I met Cotton at X and X. He was so nice, and I'm like, oh, that makes my day, man. Even though that might become a meme now. Someone will be like, I met Connor at his Twitch chat. He was so nice. He called me an idiot. I don't know. I like being a dick online, but then in person, I'm like, oh man, I just want to be nice to everyone.
I want the opposite of that, to be like, oh, I met Joey at a con. He was so nice.
I have had
that. Unsubscribed.
I think I've had that one time actually.
What?
Someone was like, "Oh, Connor was so rude" or something, and I'm like, I don't think I was. Though. I rarely would be rude. I can scarcely be rude to myself, let alone like someone else.
I'm only rude to my best mates.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to, if you're being ushered to somewhere.
Of course,
you have to be like. Sometimes people will start like, "Oh, Joe, can I take a picture?" And I'll be like, "Oh, well, I can't right now. Actually, I have to go."
Well, there's only one of me, and many people who
sometimes
thankfully want to
I
hang out with me.
I hate being like, "No, I can't take a picture."
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah.
But handlers and staff and whatnot, and
1% problems, eh?
Yeah.
Living a good life.
Duty calls, sometimes.
Oh God, it's so hard. Just people wanting to take a photo with me. God.
I can't imagine. What do I do with all this attention?
I'm very grateful. I'm very
Connor,
grateful.
you've changed. You've changed, Connor.
I fell off.
L plus ratio.
Man.
Before like when you moved to Japan, did you guys get called out by your username or by your real names? Did anyone actually call you by like Connor?
I was always
Joey?
Sea-Dog or Sebastian occasionally. Remember
They were like, yo, Sebastian?
Yeah, remember that one time we were in Little Tokyo, right? We were in LA in Little Tokyo. And we were chilling. And then like we were all about to like, we were done with our delicious, I think I didn't even have Japanese food. I remember I had bibimbap, which is
Korean. It was like the Korean barbecue place, right?
Yeah. So we were leaving, and it was good. We were all chatting, and some girl screamed like Sebastian, and I was like, and I was really just embarrassed because you guys were fucking laughing at me because they called me Sebastian.
because it was that moment of like we all turned around and we were like, oh, I wonder which Sebastian. Oh,
and Connor's just like.
This is like in the period where I was trying my goddamn hardest to get away from it. So it was like a reminder.
I mean, yeah,
But
definitely.
no, I don't care. If someone did it, you can call me Sebastian.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I think for me, I think it happened early on where, like, of course, people at first were calling me Anime Man or whatever, but like, I think from really early on, because too many people were getting my usernames wrong, and also the fact that I didn't like my username.
What were they calling you then if it was wrong?
Oh, there was Anime Guy, Anime Dude.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard.
Like every time I hang out, like I was next to Joey, I swear he would get like Anime Man maybe only like 70% of the time.
Yeah, if that.
There's been so many variations
How is it that
of your
hard
name.
to remember?
But there were people who would like get my actual name wrong as well. Like I've been called John. I've been called the one that I couldn't fucking believe, and I remember to this day, was at Otakuthon. Some dude legit came up to me and said, "Hey, Josh."
With like 100% confidence.
With 100% confidence, and I was
Mad
like,
respect to that guy.
I was like, I couldn't even like be, I couldn't be like, it's Joey, because I was actually just dumbfounded. I'm like, you did not just fucking call me that.
Do you not like Josh? Do you have a vendetta against Josh?
No, nothing against Josh. I've got mates called Josh, but I'm not Josh.
Why did the name Josh specifically annoy you more than John?
I think it's because there's only ever been that one guy who called me Josh.
Watch it now. Next day X or whatever, you're going to be Josh the anime guy.
I understand, like Anime Guy or like Anime Dude or, like a different derivative of the word man, right? Because it's a pretty, it's a pretty generic name, right?
I don't know. The anime man's pretty fucking easy.
Well, I'd like to think so, but...
Actually, like, I think I've gotten people have gotten my name, like my internet handle, like wrong almost as much times if they've got it right.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the biggest thing is obviously people think my name's Gig UK.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I love you. I love it. I love your work, Gig UK. And I'm just like, how long have you been watching my stuff?
I think YouTube should implement those pronunciation brackets that they have on those like Merriam dictionary.
They need like the Google Translate, like say the word.
Is my name that hard to pronounce? Because I swear I've had so many mispronunciations of my name, and it doesn't even piss me off. I just find it funny. Right?
Yeah.
I don't ever say anything. I'm just like, whatever. We'll just.
Well, at least yours is just a mispronunciation. Mine is literally just not the correct word. Like there's only so many ways you can. Like, I didn't know you could pronounce man as dude. or guy.
I think it's just because I've just like my entire life is a mispronunciation of my name. Like, I'm just fucking used to it. I think the weirdest mispronunciation of my real name actually was actually when I was in university. So I remember in university, in Freshers Week especially, you meet a lot of new people very, very quickly, okay?
Yeah.
And obviously, as you all know, Garnt is not a common name at all.
Right.
And, you know, so I've heard like every fucking mispronunciations of my name by then. And I remember like my first day of uni, I heard a new one, right? So I go up to a person and I say, "Hi, my name's Garnt," thinking they say Grant or you know Garnet or one of like something like that, which that happens a lot. Garnet happens a lot.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And he goes, "God, your name's God?" And I'm like, "What? How did you mishear that? How did you mishear that? No, it's Grant. It's not fuck. I almost said fuck. Fuck. I almost said Grant. It's Garnt.
It's been
Garnt.
confirmed. It's canon.
It's Garnt. It's Garnt. Because how I explain it, it's Garnt. Think of Hugh Grant, but swap the R and the A over. So that's Garnt. And you know that's how I like speed run explaining my name. Yeah. And he was just like, "Oh, Garnt." And I'm thinking in my head, what a fucking dumbass. How would you hear God from Garnt, right? That's just like the anomaly. He is the glitch in the Matrix. And then literally like 2 people later, right? I'm like introduce myself. And so like later in the day, I say, "Hi, my name's Garnt." And the second time, "God? Your name's God?" I'm like, what the fuck what is going on? What is going on right now?
It would be a very bold move of a parent to name their kid God. It's a very bold name. You got to have high hopes for that kid.
And I remember somehow in Freshers Week, even though I did introduce myself to a lot of people within that short time frame, like probably more than I have in my life in that like 1 week or 2 period, 3 people thought my name was God when I first introduced myself. I just like it blew my fucking mind.
I just love it when like people just absolutely butcher my name in ways that I just like wasn't expecting. I think that is like my favorite thing ever. Just like having now that I am like this public figure where like, you know, even like my full name is like public now, right? Like, oh my God, I don't think there hasn't been a single person who's pronounced my surname correct.
Really?
It's the first time.
Not that hard.
Yeah, it's Bissinger, right? But like my favorite was the fucking FCCJ panel that we did. And the guy, I think the guy called me something like, "And here at the end of the table is Joey, the anime Bazanga." I was like, first of all, you forgot the man. Second of all, I did an interview with you.
You should be the anime.
Yeah.
The anime.
The anime.
Yeah.
The
anime. Joey, the
drop
anime.
Drop the man, drop
Bazanga.
the dude, drop the guy. The anime.
The anime. I am anime.
You are the anime. Not the man, the anime.
I think what I loved about that live stream with FCCJ is when he was introducing my name, and like I remember he like introduced you, he introduced Connor, and then I think he got to me, and I remember, and I could see the fucking word processing in his mind, and there was like this brief pause before he said my name, and it was like I remember like the chat going, he's gonna say Grant, he's gonna mispronounce it, and I remember it was just like a slight pause, but that felt like an hour, you know. That felt like an entire Death Note scene, that fucking pause, man.
You could have edited in like the AOL loading sounds like into it,
Just
right?
like the fucking JoJo, boom, and then 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Has anyone ever mispronounced Sea Dog or gotten your internet handle wrong?
No.
Well, your surname is pretty difficult to pronounce.
My surname, but I don't.
Also, Sea Dog is very easy as well.
Yeah, Sea Dog's. I'm really glad I chose that. I mean, we said this before, right?
Smart
It's
move.
an easy.
Smart move.
Unintentionally, I chose it to sound cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually sound that cool. But now everyone just calls me Connor, so that's easy.
Yeah, well, that's what I like about Trash Taste is that now we're just known as Joey, Garnt, and Connor.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a request to anyone watching this who will meet us in conventions. I know Grant is a meme, and it doesn't piss me off when people call me Grant, but please call me Garnt, because it will get to a point where I literally will not know if you just don't know who I am or you're part of or you're a Trash Taste viewer. So please at least call me Garnt the first time before you start memeing it up. Otherwise, I will genuinely not know like if you just are that deep into the Trash Taste lore or if you just genuinely think my name's Garnt. Like I genuinely genuinely won't be able to tell the difference.
Likewise with me, you know, Josh is not my name.
It is.
John is also not my name.
I've seen his birth certificate.
It is. If you call him Josh now, everyone's going to know that you watched this episode of Trash Taste.
Oh, God. Wait, how come I'm not allowed to get away with it, but you are? What the fuck?
Yeah, Garnt's like, don't do this to me, but do it to Joey. It's really funny.
Yeah, don't do it to me.
Don't do the exact same thing.
As long as it's not to me.
Yeah. Bully Joey. Just
bully Joey. Just don't bully me.
Wow.
I'm begging you.
I can't believe it. So rude.
People just spell my name incorrectly. That's all. People don't say it wrong.
Well, I mean, there's only so many ways you can fucking pronounce Connor.
Yeah, oh, it's all Connor.
Yeah.
Conair, maybe that's all.
Conair.
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 I think that's
my favorite movie.
Yeah, I think that's a movie. Right?
Great movie. Great movie.
My favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
It's an honor to be confused with Connor.
Conair.
Fantastic movie.
That sounds like the cursive Connor, you know?
Yeah.
Conair.
It's like if Sebastian pronounces Connor.
Maybe.
That's what you should be like. If someone at a convention stops you, being like, "Hey, Sebastian," they should be like, "It's Conair."
I never saw in my life until like I got on the internet that you could spell Connor with an ER.
Connor.
C-O-N-N.
Yeah, I mean,
E-R. I never saw that. There was a friend of my school who was called Connor, but it was spelled C-O-N-N-A-H.
Connor.
Yeah, Connor.
That's the Australian spelling for it.
Because there was also a place near me that was called Connor something.
Right.
But it was spelled that way.
That is like a very phonetic Connor, isn't it? Oi, Connor.
It's like Connor.
Connor, mate. Yeah, Connor.
It was interesting because I was like, am I the weird? No, I've got the normal. I have the normal.
Yeah, yours is the
Connor.
normal one.
I have the normal Connor. I'm pretty sure. I am the real one. This is all a joke. You're all lying. None of you are the real Connor.
What is the like? Who is the person who had the weirdest name that you knew personally in your life?
What do you judge as weird? Like obscure or just like? So why would you choose?
For
that?
me, I knew a guy in my school whose real name was Gamarin.
Gamarin.
Yeah, not Cameron. Gamarin with a G.
I kind of like that.
I thought it was fucking cool.
That sounds cool.
But it's just like in my head, I was like, first of all, where does that come from? And second of all, was like their parents' handwriting so shit at the birth certificate that the doctor was like, "Oh, that's an interesting way to spell Cameron."
There was a kid from another school. I always was so jealous. They'd called their kid Zeus.
Zeus
was his first name.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I was God. And I was like, again, the problem with really fucking badass names is that if you don't live up to a badass name, it looks pathetic. Like imagine like you're like a kind of like super shy person. You're like, what's your name? Oh, it's Zeus. It's like you need to be larger than life if you're called Zeus, right?
That's like in school when you had that like one surname. Like, you know, I knew a guy whose surname was Champion.
Oh,
and unfortunately,
was he a champion?
Unfortunately, no.
Wow.
He didn't quite live up to his surname.
It was a surname, though.
Yeah.
Because if it's your first name, everyone's calling you.
Oh,
bro,
right, exactly.
The parents must have been confident. They'd be like, you better live up to this name or you're a failure.
You are a literal champion.
They must have gone to like the sperm bank, got the highest grade sperm. They're like 9-foot guy, went to Harvard, 10,000 IQ. They're like, this guy's a Zeus from 100%.
Was it actually spelt like the god?
Yeah, exact same way.
Oh my god. That's so badass.
And I remember because I threw javelin against him and I beat him, and I was like, I beat Zeus in javelin.
That's so ironic.
And I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this is great. I beat Zeus. At the time I didn't care though, but now I'm like, I beat Zeus in javelin. You know, it's not a
no biggie.
It's not a big deal, but it is. But it is.
Yeah, one of my mates who used to live here in Japan, Australian guy, his real full name was Storm Angus.
That is the most Australian name I've ever heard.
That is the most badass. When he introduced himself as that, I was like, no, you're not.
That's just an Australian superhero name, right?
Look, it's Storm Angus.
Oh yeah, fucking
yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Sounds like a superhero.
It like shoots down lightning, like yeah.
He just throws down like Fosters or something.
Oh my god.
Love you, Storm.
Oh my god. That's why I want to go to Australia, man. I've never been to Australia. I just really want to go. Sounds like a laugh. Just
Oh yeah, it's great. You'll meet like Australia is that one place where you're like, I can't believe people like this exist.
Yeah.
Like unironically.
I've always wondered, what are Australian conventions like?
Okay, so there isn't really a lot. I've been to 2 different ones. There is Supernova, which is more like a Comic-Con. Yeah. And then there is Smash, which is the big anime con in Sydney.
Right.
Does Smash stand for anything?
Yeah, the Sydney Manga and Anime Show.
Good name.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first time I went was in like 2013, 14, something like that. And there was maybe like 3,000 people, 4,000 people. It was a tiny convention. But the year that I went, before the pandemic, where I was a guest at, there was like almost like 30, 40,000 people. So it's like clearly grown massively. In terms of, but like, I honestly think like in terms of like the actual like vibe of the con and stuff like that, I don't really see it as that much different to like a US con or any other like English speaking convention, because it's like
just
everyone.
Way more cunts being
yeah, it's just I mean,
not actual cunts, but
not actual like, so we're not throwing cunts, but like
Australian cunts.
Yeah. I mean, like even then though, it's I don't know. I mean, obviously, I felt a little more at home because I was talking to people with the same accent as me.
Yeah.
But and because like that was like my first con ever, right? It's like my home turf. But in terms of like a con experience, I guess like. Yeah, I didn't really see it as that much more different to like a standard like American con, I guess. Like the people, I feel just like weebs in general or like anime fans in general, like no matter where you are, they kind of all give off like the same vibe of like, a lot of them are just kind of like chill and down to earth and just want to like chat with you, I guess. Because like in Australia, like a lot like America, where is like, a lot of stranger friendliness is still pretty prevalent, right? So it's like, people didn't really have, at least not a lot of people, didn't really have problems, coming up to me and talking to me and stuff like that, just as like, hey, Joe, what's up, man? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, so, yeah, I mean, you guys will definitely fucking have a great time if we ever end up going to Smash or an Australian convention. It's just, every now and then you will meet those, like, very stereotypical loud Aussies who, just like, fucking you, like that level, right? But
that sounds good to me.
That sounds like a laugh.
Yeah, I feel though those kinds of people you wouldn't really find at a lot of like anime cons. You'll see them at the pub,
right?
But very rarely have I seen an anime fan.
Dude, it's why conventions you love going to the pub after that's close by. And you just see people like Kirito downing like a Stella. You're like, what's going on? I don't remember this part of the anime.
It's like, a chicken like an Asuna cosplay is like doing a shui. It's like that.
We like to drink with Asuna. He's our mate.
I didn't unfortunately see that, but I wish I did.
Do a lot of people get drunk at Aussie conventions? Because that's a big thing about British conventions. Way more than like
so much.
It is like
all they do.
It's more than the actual convention itself. It's people are just like, oh, there's anime here. Cool, let's get a fucking pint.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. At least in Sydney, I don't think it would be as much as in the UK, just because like drinking or eating out in Sydney is really fucking expensive. Like, like a pint of beer is like, fucking $10 Australian in like a lot of like places in Sydney, right? Like in the city.
Like 10 Aussie dollars or 10?
Like
10 real dollars.
Yeah, $10
dues. Real currency, Joe.
Yeah, $10 dues. So, and I think to like a lot of kids who come to these conventions, like $10 is a lot of money, right? Like that's $10 you can spend on anime merch at the con.
Yeah, of course.
So I didn't see as many drunk people as I thought there was going to be. But a lot of the parents were getting drunk, that's for sure. They were like,
hey, they've had a hard day.
Yeah, like they probably drove like an hour to get into the city and being like, all right, kids, have fun at your Japanese convention. Daddy and I are going to go over to the pub and get shit-faced while we wait for you. Yeah. So like,
I'm taking care of the kids.
Yeah. So like in between like signings and stuff, I'd take a step outside and, you look over at the like the terrace of some of these like pubs like on the water and, there's just a lot of parents clearly just like waiting for their kids, just being like, another beer? Yeah, all right.
Can't blame them. Can't blame them.
Honestly, I'd probably do the same when I have kids,
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like an only child, so I never had this experience, but I remember like Sydney talking about it all the time where, you your parents would just take you to events, and then you would just give all the responsibility to the older sibling to take care of the younger siblings, and just like, here's a bunch of money, fuck off, have fun, you know?
Yeah, I definitely had that. That's for sure.
Maybe I can't remember really. Maybe I was a little shit. So maybe
I think I very rarely had experiences like that. Because I think like me and my sister didn't really like share a lot of like the same like interests when when we were growing up. I feel as adults now we're like starting to like share more of like the same likes on things. But yeah, I don't really like remember going to a lot of events with my sister. Like we maybe went to like a few concerts, but that's
did your parents ever take you to an event that you just didn't want to fucking go to, but you had to go to because your parents were going to
football matches?
Football matches.
My dad used to drag me to football matches. He's gonna love this bit now. He's like, I didn't drag you. You wanted to go. No, he would bribe me with chocolate. He would be like, I'll buy you a Galaxy bar, which is like this chocolate in the UK. Not like the small bars, like the this sized block one. You know, where it's like, we're talking like we got some serious chocolate mileage here. He's like, I'll buy it for you. And then I had to this is the worst part. My dad will laugh at this. Is that when I was like 8, he would take me to like the pub before.
Yeah.
Right.
Where it was literally like it's like a football club, right? So it's cheap, it's dirty, it's absolutely rammed, it stinks. It's like everyone is eating like pork scratchings and downing like really cheap pints.
Yeah. Right.
I actually remember just sitting there, just like not understanding anything. Although that they would just ask me sometimes stuff about football, and I'd be like, Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
I just remember I never understood anything.
Right.
And one time I went to a match and Everton, my dad's obsessed with like Everton family and stuff. And I remember they won because I was there. And my dad was like convinced that I was the good luck charm.
Yeah.
To why we won. So I got dragged to more, even though I told them, I was like, I hate it. I do not want to go. I absolutely despise this. Because I would just stand there. And I remember it was cold and it was so loud. And I just wanted to play my Game Boy. But I had to watch these people kick. And I was like, why is it 90 minutes long? That's so long.
So yeah, to a child, 90 minutes is long.
And like I would always be like, can I get some like, because I don't know why. I always as a kid, I just wanted to eat.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to eat, and they would sell those like stupidly long hot dogs. At these football events. Yeah, I remember one time I had one, and my dad let me like just like hold on to it for like 2 seconds, and someone bumped into me, and I dropped it.
All right,
and then I was so mortified, and I remember I think that ruined football for me. I was like, no. I'm done.
Can't even eat a hot dog.
This guy didn't even buy me a new one. He like knocked me over, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But I was like 8, so I didn't know how to articulate. All I remember was I was just really sad that I dropped this hot dog.
Right. And you couldn't buy a new one because
my dad had just given me like enough money to buy it, and it was like I couldn't. You know, I don't know. He'd like let me have it, and I was like, "Oh my god, no!" And then all the other food was like, it was like steak and kidney pies, from like this thing called Pucker pies in the UK. They're so bad. They're really, really bad.
Right.
But no, I remember that like, I sort of liked it, but just remember being like totally confused and not really understanding it. And I never really liked football. Yeah. My brothers did though. They liked going. And my older brother liked it a lot, but I just never liked it. And I felt like I was a failure to my dad because he was like, I just want you to like sports. Why can't you like sports?
Why can't you be a normal person and like sports?
I'm like the only kid in the UK that didn't like football. And he's like, why?
I remember like because my parents were like really into like looking at property. Right, like
what?
and for the longest time I was like, oh, are we gonna move house? Like, you know, I would get excited. I'm like, no, it's like, no, we're just looking.
What?
And I was like, we're literally window shopping houses, and they're like, yeah. And I was like, to a 10-year-old, I was like, what the fuck?
This sounds like the most privileged, non-privileged thing I've ever heard.
Well, because it's like, you know, because my dad is like, you know, heavily into like stocks and like investing.
It's an investment.
He's an investor.
I'm watching A Home in the Sun because it's an investment.
Yeah, he was an investor, right? And also like my parents used to go a lot as well, so that they could get inspirations for like interior design and stuff like that. Because you know, my dad loved doing like renovations into the house and stuff, so he would get a lot of like good ideas from that, right?
That makes more sense.
Yeah, but like, you know, to a 10-year-old, I don't know what the fuck like all that shit is, right? Like, you would think if your parents came up to you and said, son, we're going to go check out some houses today, the first thing you would think of as a 10-year-old is, yay, we're moving, right? And my sister, who's like 3 years younger than me, was like, oh, we're moving house. That's so exciting. Yay. So naturally, for the first couple of times, we'd go along with them, right?
Yeah.
Until we realize we're not moving.
We're just looking at
We're
houses.
just looking at them.
I have a question, actually. This just came out. You can't answer it, Garnt, rip, unfortunately. Because it's about brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So, how did... Because, obviously, let's say there's two siblings or 3 siblings in my house. How was it decided who gets which bedroom? In your house?
That's a good question. Well,
Did you ever ask?
Battle Royale. Squid Game.
Because
Squid Game.
I am the middle son, right?
Right.
And I got the tiniest room.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, I think for us, we got lucky because the house that I grew up in, or I was born in, was like bought just at the same time as they got that house. So I basically got first dibs, right? Because my sister wasn't born yet.
Oh, so you got to choose.
It wasn't. I wasn't like a 3-year-old being like, father, this room is a little larger than the other one.
Well, you know what's funny? That's exactly what my parents fucking did.
Really?
They asked me when I was like 2 or whatever which room I wanted.
Asked you when you were 2.
I don't know, like at an age where I cannot comprehend what I am doing. Right?
It's a big space either way, right? For a kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fine. This is great. I literally chose like the Harry Potter closet. And I'm like, Mum, don't fucking believe what 2 or 3-year-old Connor chose. Why would you do that?
His mum comes out with the contract. Is this
like,
you? This your name?
I've got the receipts.
Did you sign this?
You signed by blood.
Did you sign this?
I'm like, what the fuck is this? I would never choose it. You know I would have never chosen it.
I got the room which was right next to my parents' room because obviously I was the firstborn child, right?
Yeah.
And then my sister got the last room, which just so happened to be next to the toilet. Right. So I remember she would complain, being like, because I think our rooms were pretty much the same size. Like it might have been minor differences, but it didn't really matter. It was roughly the same size. But I remember my sister used to complain, being like, well, at least you're not fucking in a room where like every time someone has to take a shit in the middle of the night, you get woken up by it. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, that sounds like a you problem.
But also you're closest to the toilet, so that's
exactly. That's what I said. I was like,
that's an advantage.
That's a perk.
Yeah.
I'm wondering comments if you have brothers and sisters or whatever. How was it decided which room was given to?
Can't relate.
Or were you all just shoved into one room?
Can't relate.
When we were like really little, my sister and I obviously just slept in the same room in the same bed, right? And then it's probably maybe when I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 that I finally got to pick one of the rooms. But like, I don't remember there being like a ritualistic fucking Squid Game of like,
well, it wasn't.
Now fight to the death.
It was just apparently I chose this room, which is.
Do you remember choosing the room?
No, of course not. I don't. I remember I'd asked my parents later on. I was like, wait, I chose it. I'm like, why would you listen to me? Why? I am not in the right mind. I cannot make good decisions.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably massive to you when you chose it. The room.
Yeah. It was tiny.
Yeah.
I was like, you could like. There was no place to put more than like a single bed. Not that I would ever need more than a single bed. But like even if I wanted bigger, there was actually no space to put it anywhere.
Yeah.
And so it was just like.
But of course,
so
you
small.
talking about that, right? Like you obviously remember it different to your parents, right? So I guarantee your parents are going to remember it and recall it differently, being like, oh, I specifically remember Connor fucking volunteering as tribute. Being like, yes, I will take the smallest room for the family.
Going back to like weird events your parents are taking you to. So I remember I think the weirdest thing, well, not the weirdest, but the thing that sticks out in my mind right now is my parents or my mum once took me to a meditation meetup. Okay, I think it was a meditation meetup. Okay, so I think what happened is, so my mum's like Buddhist. Yeah. So, as a Buddhist, this was before like I became like a monk or a kid monk or anything like that. So, sometimes you pray or you meditate for good karma and all that stuff. Sometimes my mum would go to like these Buddhist meetups or these meditation meetups where what you do at this meetup is you go there and you meditate for about an hour in like darkness. Right.
Okay.
So
with a bunch of other people.
With a bunch of other people. Okay. Right. So like I was about 7 years old when this happened. Right. So I think like at that time like there was no one to take care of me at home or something. I don't know why. Yeah. But my mum was like, Garnt, you're coming with me. We're gonna meditate. And I remember her framing it in a way where we're just gonna meditate for a little bit. Like 5 minutes or something. That's what it was in my head. Right. I didn't know how long I would be sitting still for at this meetup. I thought because she taught me how to meditate and we'd do it for like 10 to like 15 minutes at most, right? That's what I thought I was getting into. So we get there. I remember like the head guy was just like, hey, thank you all for coming. So we're going to be sitting here. I'm going to hit the gong and we're going to turn off the lights and we're going to just sit here for an hour. And after the hour's on, I'm going to hit the gong again.
Squid Game. You turn the lights on. half people are dead.
And so I remember thinking, what the fuck? I've got to sit here in silence for an hour. What? I was 7 years old. I couldn't like sit still for 5 minutes, let alone a fucking hour.
It's like solving the God equation.
So I remember like sitting down. I'm like fucking panicking, trying to figure out how the fuck I am going to sit here for an hour. I look over to my mum. My mum's just like already like fucking in the zone.
Yeah,
she's already
she's
ready.
long gone.
She's done it. She's long gone. She's in another fucking dimension right now. And so he hits the gong. Luckily, they have a clock in the room, so you can see how much time goes past.
Yeah.
Now, what you're meant to do during meditation is like you are meant to just clear your mind, right? The point of an hour is that it shouldn't feel like an hour because to your mind, it should be as empty as possible. So you shouldn't really feel the passage of time, or you should feel it less than usual. Right. You know, that's the entire like zone you're supposed to get in with meditation. So I remember thinking, all right, Garnt, you got this. You've meditated for 15 minutes, you can do an hour. And I remember sitting there, and to me, I'm like, I think about 40 minutes has passed. Let me sneak over at the clock. I look over, 5 minutes has gone by. I'm just like, oh, fuck. I start fucking sweating. I look around.
How are you seeing the clock in the dark?
Huh? It was like one of the glow-in-the-dark clocks.
Okay.
Yeah. With like luminescence.
That makes it even harder not to look as a kid.
Yeah.
I want to look at the glowing thing.
So I'm just like, so I come up with this five head strategy, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm at that point I was fucking obsessed with Pokemon, right? So
who wasn't?
Who wasn't? So like I remember like back in the day I had like recorded like an entire season of Pokemon, and that was like my only entertainment. So I had like watched this VHS of this recording of Pokemon like fucking 10-20 times, right? 10-20 times. So I think to myself, how am I going to get through an hour? I got a 5-head idea. What if I just watch 3 episodes of Pokemon in my mind? and if I watched 3 episodes of Pokemon in my mind, an hour would have passed, right? So I remember.
What is this fucking serial experiments lane? Like,
so I escape into the chasm of my mind.
Is this the metaverse?
I like enter the metaverse in my mind, and I just start watching. I just start playing the episodes of Pokemon that I can remember. Unfortunately, I think some gaps were missed off because I remember like watching in my mind 3 episodes, looking at the clock, and half an hour had gone by. So I'm just like, okay, maybe time moves differently in my mind.
I got a gold split on watching Pokemon.
So I think I watched an entire season of Pokemon in my mind.
Your mind was just like, all right, cutting out all the filler right now. Only the important information.
So I think I got through an entire fucking season, and then I finally hear the gong, and I'm like, thank fuck. And I remember afterwards, like, some of my mom's friends comes over to her and be like, well, I'm like so impressed with your son. Like, how did you sit there for an hour? Like, my son can't concentrate on anything for 5 minutes. I'm so impressed with your son. And I'm just like, they don't know. I just watched Pokemon for an hour.
Meanwhile, you are drenching in sweat. You're like, what does Ash say again in this episode?
Yo, Ash was about to get to the Indigo League, man. You stopped at a fucking good point, man.
How the fuck did you do that? That's insane.
This man literally opened up his third eye by reciting Pokemon in his head.
Anime companies hate this one trick to letting you rewatch the anime.
You wouldn't recite Pokemon, would
That's
you?
the real secret to like reaching enlightenment. You don't empty your mind. You just watch an entire season. You just watch One Piece in your mind, and you just reach enlightenment.
Could you do that now?
I could not do that now.
I could watch a show and then couldn't do that immediately after.
Because that was back in the day when you were a kid and you had like that one thing that you watched over and over.
Oh yeah,
You could just like recite it. Like I remember I could probably like recite the entire movie of Toy Story or something in my mind, just because I had watched it so many times.
Oh, damn.
You know?
I have some movies like that too. I could probably recite the entirety of Pulp Fiction. That's just because I've seen it so many fucking times. Right now, 3.5 hour movie. Let's go.
Well, if you need to meditate for that long,
that's like when I need to meditate, I'm just like.
Say what again? Say what again?
I dare you. I'm double dare you, motherfucker. You know what they call quarter pounder with cheese in France?
Did you never have that as a kid? Just like a game or something that you played so many times that you could just like recite it from memory?
No.
Never.
Not recite it. I'd probably played stuff a bunch, but never something I could recite from memory.
But are you the kind of person who remembers song lyrics easily?
No, not at all.
Okay,
I actually cannot remember song lyrics without looking at the sheet.
Right.
And even then, it's like, it'll last like a day.
Yeah, because it's really interesting. There's like, there's two types of people where there's ones who are like, you can listen to a song once and you just like miraculously just remember how the lyrics go. And then there are people who are just like, I could listen to this song 50 times. And, and it's like, I'll recognize the lyrics if someone tells me. But I can't recite it myself.
Okay, so I had this realization the other day, because I've obviously given Connor a lot of shit for like hearing the beeps and the boops.
Yeah.
And then I just had this realization that I think I listen to music like beeps and boops as well, right? Because okay, like lyrics mean nothing to me. Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird, right? Where I listen to a song and if lyrics aren't there, right, I feel like something's missing because I do think lyrics is a part of the song. But to me, lyrics are almost like another instrument to me. It's so weird. It's so weird where like I don't listen to what they're saying, and even if you can take a song that I love and you lay the lyrics out in front of me, and I'm just like, I've never heard this song in my life. Like, what is the song?
Well, I would argue that the best artists and the best singers and the best bands, I guess, can, as you said, use their voice as an instrument. But then if you want to read into the lyrics are also profound. Where unfortunately, very few artists can do that, right? Where it's either like you either concentrate fully on the lyrics to be like, here's a deep poetic meaning behind it.
Am I understanding this correctly? Are you saying the voice is a part of the song? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
no shit. It is.
It's like another, but there are a lot of artists who don't see it that way, and they just like, it's like, it also depends on how the songs mix, but like some artists you hear and it's just like, oh, I wish I could hear the instruments because it's just being drowned out by the singing.
No, but but like, have you ever like properly listened to the lyrics of a song and it's like changed the way you think about a song because you properly actually read into it?
Like the new Weekend album's really good, but like if you just actually listen to what he's saying, it's depressing as fuck.
Oh yeah.
So that rarely ever
you're like vibing. You're like, dude, this song is so good, and he's like, I'm fucking depressed and shit is going wrong, and it's like, yeah, fuck, this is so good. Yeah.
Wait, what did you say?
And then you like listen to it, and it's like, wait, hold on, you did what?
Yeah, I can't even get to that moment because it's really weird, but. Like sometimes if there's like a disconnect between how the song makes me feel versus what the lyrics are saying, I always go towards what the song makes me feel. And same. And it's so weird because I don't know how much of this is bullshit.
Welcome to the beeps and boops.
That's it. I hear the beeps and the boops. The beeps and the boops make me feel something, and that's what I feel towards the song that I hardly ever listen to lyrics at all because it never changes how I feel towards the song. It's so weird.
You guys are literally that type of people who would make a fucking BuzzFeed article being like top 10 songs that have a dark meaning.
Engineers.
And being like, did you know?
I don't know. I hear the music. It comes in and it just comes in like a I don't know, like a fucking graph in my head. It comes out.
No, the thing is, I get that. I totally get that.
But I feel it. Like I do have emotions towards it.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't give a shit what he's talking about.
Right.
I'm just intaking the noise.
Yeah.
And the noise either makes me feel something or it doesn't.
Yeah, which is why I think for a lot of songs where there is like a stark contrast between how the song makes you feel versus how the lyrics make you feel is what is like a big whiplash for people like you guys, right? Like where it's what the fuck? But
live it's different.
I don't know how to feel.
I want to preface live, it is different. There definitely is a lot more to it when it's live and stuff. But a recorded album.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I find it so easy to listen to a lot of Japanese music or a lot of like music in a language that I don't understand. Yeah, because they're probably I have no idea what the lyrics they are spitting most of the time. But part of me is like, I feel the emotion in their voice. Hard.
Yeah,
I feel the emotion that they're singing right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I kind of get it, even though I probably don't get it. I feel like I get it.
I can't tell you like I'd say 90% of anime openings, the lyrics are depressing as fuck. but like just weaves at a corner like, man, this is a fucking jam. Goddamn, son. Which is fine. It's cool. I that's what I find really interesting though about people who can do that, right? Yeah. And it's like it's the reason why I feel that in and of itself, like that discovery of like when people find out this really like bright and like colorful and like very positive sounding song actually has a really fucking dark meaning, and then you know, and it's that realization of like, oh shit, I just got played. Yeah, because I wasn't listening to the lyrics, right? Like,
yeah, that's why I'm like, because we like had this idea to do a music 3x3 for like ages, and I've like low-key actually been shitting myself. At the
Why?
Because like one of the mediums I find hardest to fucking explain is music. Because I literally are just like, I mean, this song,
this sounds good.
This song made me feel things, and I just really like it. And people are like, oh, did you know the meaning of that song? I'm like, I have no idea the meaning of that song. But it made me feel things.
Yeah.
It made me feel things.
I get that.
Welcome to the beeps and the boops, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought you were on my team, man. I feel betrayed.
Welcome to the beeps and boops.
I'm glad to be here, Connor.
I felt absolutely betrayed. God damn it.
The music episode would just be Joey talking for 2 hours.
Yeah, right?
And then me and Garnt going, I like this one.
Yeah, that's why I almost don't want to do it. Because I think I'd rather just make a video on my own.
You got to carry the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Which might be the shortest Trash Taste episode of all time.
Yeah, probably.
Like 40 minutes in, we're like, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining.
Well, do you have an example of like a song where the lyrics, where you found more like reading into the lyrics and the deeper meaning of that song, as opposed to just listening to, you know, the initial beats, the beeps and the boops, the beeps and the boops?
I mean, I'll go into
Pink Floyd The Wall.
Well, yes, that too, but also like, yeah, I think there's like a lot of like artists that, you know, again, it's like it's that brilliance of, you know, using the lead singer as just like an instrument, where it's like, if you're not listening to the lyrics or anything like that, it still sounds great and it's still like sticky in your head. But then one day you're like, you know, I've listened to this song like 3 or 4 times, but I've never actually read the lyrics. Let me read into the lyrics. And then you read into it, and, you know, a lot of it's very like poetic, and, you know, it completely changes the way you view that song. Like, you know, fucking like great example, like, you know, Turning Japanese, you know that song?
Yeah.
No.
Turning Japanese, I think I'm turning. You don't know that song?
Yeah. I know
that song's about masturbation.
Oh.
Yeah. But no one knows it because no one fucking reads into the lyrics. They just hear the da 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 da, and I was like, oh yeah, I love that song. Is
that what Turning Japanese is about?
Yeah. It's about masturbation.
I've never heard of this song.
Well, like how Pumped Up Kicks is about school shootings, right?
I know that one. I know that
like
one.
when people first discovered that, they were like, "Oh my god, I've been fucking jebaited," right?
But it's catchy as shit.
But it's catchy as fuck. It's a jam of a
song.
song, right? It's like, I don't know. I find that to be like, as someone who also writes music, that is so much fucking harder than it looks.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine, and I feel bad that I don't. Or I have the inability to appreciate it because, like,
but I feel that's fine because, like, I feel with those kinds of songs, they're taking into account how it sounds first.
Yeah.
And then they think about the meaning afterwards, right?
Yeah, I think the only exception is with like rap music, you know, where it is just like basically just lyrical poems to a beat, right? So that's where I actually have more of an understanding or like an image in my head of, oh man, these lyrics go fucking hard. But
I do listen to the lyrics when it's rap. I try to at least.
Right,
it's hard though.
But like most of the times, I actually see the lyric sheets, and it almost like transforms it. That to a point where I don't even recognize the song anymore. It's always like separate from the song itself. It's so weird. If someone can explain this to me, like I'm like super curious because I think I'm incapable of like getting the meaning of lyrics as I'm listening to the song at the same time.
Do you reckon there's anything to do with the fact that I'm the only musical trained one out of the 3 of us?
Maybe, probably. You probably appreciate it more.
Yeah,
maybe.
To me, it's all noise.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah,
but it's noise.
I mean, I can play musical instruments, but I've never been like professionally trained.
Right.
You know,
I think that's just what it is, right? Like, I feel it's just because you've been trained to listen to music in a different way that you can just perceive these smaller points that other people would just perceive as just the beeps and the boops, right?
I mean, to me, like
it's like people who, you know, go to a gallery and look at art. Right, it's like you've clearly just been like, a lot of them have just been trained to look at this thing in a completely different way that you otherwise would have a very hard time grasping, right? Like, you know, you go to an art gallery with an art critic and they'd be like, yes, I love the flow and the texture and the feelings that I get from it. It's making me feel this way. And the average person looking at it be like, oh yeah, I like the color red as well. You know, like, it's just, I think it's just based on how you're trained.
Yeah. Right? Like to me, like, you know, I can play musical instruments and stuff like that, but I've never like, I've never thought I've never like studied music theory or anything like that. So like when I like wrote songs before, it was more like C major sound nice or something like that. I don't like chords sound nice.
Yeah.
You know, that was just like my process. You know,
D come after C.
Musically trained.
Yeah, musically trained.
God damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this rate, I don't know if we'll ever actually end up doing a music 3x3.
I'm down. I just got to think of 9 albums I like. Right now, I can.
Are
only
we
think
doing
of
albums or artists? That's the question.
I think we should do artists.
Artists, okay.
Yeah,
Because like
4, 5.
Yeah.
I think of.
Four or five
that I
artists?
feel like I could strongly say I've listened to
Okay.
everything. I
Okay.
like everything. A lot of others, I'm like, I like this one album. You know, like Arctic Monkeys, I like a lot, but
Yeah.
like not every album. You know,
Right.
And I get it. You want to be experimental, do your thing, but I don't know how I can sit there and be like, this is one of my favorite artists. By the way, this one album shit. I don't like it.
Well, no, I think that's a valid.
I
argument.
think. I mean, like
All right, maybe,
A lot of my favorite artists have a shit album or two.
I don't know if I'm an anomaly in this as well, but I don't normally listen to albums as a whole.
Right.
I
You just listen to
that's very
individual
normal.
songs.
I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
really
yeah.
normal.
Yeah, that's
like
very normal.
I'm like shitting myself finding think of 9 albums because I'm like, how many like full albums have I fucking listened to?
I mean,
We'll do it eventually.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do it eventually.
I got to figure out how to like talk about music first.
Yeah, you guys deal with that, and then when you guys are ready, come back, and then we can do it.
And I was like, I feel like he was trying to say something with this song. I could feel it. I don't know what it was exactly,
you
but I
said
feel
it.
like
You said
it
it.
was,
I
He-
like these
In
words.
this song, he said he felt it coming many times, and I believe he did feel it coming.
Oh, I was definitely coming as well. Oh my god.
But anyway, that's been this week's Trash Taste.
Oh my
All right,
god, look at
Jay?
these patrons though.
oh,
Do they listen to lyrics? I don't know.
But they listen to us on Spotify, right, Joe?
Oh, they definitely do listen to us on
Yes.
Spotify, and they also support us on Patreon. And you can do the same as well
Yes.
by going over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste.
they-
Also, what's that?
They listen to Trash Taste, which is all lyrics.
It's all
it's
nothing
all
but-
lyrics, nothing but
Dude,
lyrics.
I use the
Everyone
instrument of my
knows
voice.
Trash Taste bars. Nothing but bars for 2.5 hours. But yeah, if you like to support the show, go over to our Patreon. Also follow us on Twitter. Send us your memes on the subreddit. And if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. But yeah, music 3x3 coming eventually when
Eventually.
these boys are ready.
when I'm ready to talk about music.
In the meantime,
Yeah.
thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.